Hello and welcome to News Central Television. The top stories at this hour. Organized labor in Nigeria set to shift ground on proposed 1 million naira minimum wage. Bandits claim 12 lives, injure 9 in fresh attacks in Kaduna. Codeco militia kills 15 in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Details to come your way shortly. From our viewers across the world and beyond, this is NC Continental Prime. I am Lekon Onobanjo, and the news begins in West Africa as we pick up on security issues. Bandits launched a brutal assault on Gideon Dutse Makiali, located in the Kufana district of Kajudo local government area in Kaduna State, in a horrifying escalation of violence, resulting in the loss of at least 12 lives in the early hours of Sunday. Eyewitness accounts revealed that the assailants, numbering in large groups, descended upon the community around 5 a.m., unleashing a rain of terror by indiscriminately firing shots and setting ablaze no fewer than 17 houses. The harrowing attack, which endured for several hours without any sign of security intervention, comes in the aftermath of similar atrocities perpetrated in Igabi and Kauru local government areas on Friday night. In the prior assaults, bandits targeted the communities of Gwada and Kasam in Igabi, as well as other areas in Kauru, claiming 9 lives, injuring 7, and abducting scores of individuals, including a retired Central Bank of Nigeria director and his spouse. We also tell you that 2 persons have been killed in a heinous attack on a pub in the Pangshin local government area of Plateau State, Nigeria's north central. Reports indicate that among the victims of the senseless violence was Sylvanus Namang, the publicity secretary of the All Progressives Congress in the state. An official of the party who spoke anonymously confirmed Namang's untimely demise, revealing chilling details of the incident. He noted that Namang was killed when armed assailants unleashed a barrage of gunfire at an eatery in Pangshin, where he had gone for a burial on Saturday. The sudden loss of Namang has sent shockwaves through the political community, prompting calls for swift justice from security forces. And also, Delta State Polytechnic in Ogwashuku, Anyocha South Council area of the oil-rich Niger Delta State has been shut down for 1 week following the incessant attacks on student hostels in parts of the community by hoodlums. The rector of the institution, Professor Emmanuel Atrenu, announced the closure at the weekend for the safety of students as they are expected to resume academic activities on Monday, February 26. However, the State Police Commissioner, Abaniwanda Olufemi, had summoned the area commander and the divisional police officer in Ogwashi over the matter, adding that the institution was closed because of possible protest by students. The police boss said security had been beefed up in the Polytechnic town, stating that the force is entirely on top of the situation. In a related development, the Senate has stated that Nigerians, through their various representatives, will be the ones to determine whether or not the country will adopt state or local policing as against the current federal structure in place, as well as the type of system of government to run. This was made known by the spokesperson of the Senate, Yemi Adaramodu. President Bola Tinubu had on Thursday met with state governors and agreed on the creation of state and community police systems to put an end to the menace of insecurity robbing the nation and its peace. Adaramodu stated that the Senate had on Wednesday formed a committee to review the Constitution and would allow it to carry out its full responsibilities. Earlier, we were joined by political analyst Suleimana Konde.
If you look at the various statistics out there, it shows that Nigeria as a nation is under police. So the issue of state police has been on the agenda of this present administration. So it is a very welcome development, and if we can get the constitution review so that it can address the issue of state police, I think it's a welcome development. Yeah, it's just like putting the right apparatus in place and making sure that we create a law that checks the excesses. I think we should learn from the present settings of the Nigerian police. If there are new power that should be given to them or power that should be removed from them. So I think that's the law. And I'm also of the advocate that this law should be a kind of a law that is people oriented, that's originating from the people, which I believe the Senate will take into consideration by conducting a public hearing, among others, and also seek people's opinion.
You're watching NC Continental Prime. We'll go on a short break. We'll be back with more stories. Don't go away. Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, you may need to clean the lens of your device. It is foggy.
Oh, what were you saying?
Oh, okay. So if you can use another device, it's fine, because this is foggy and we can't see your face clearly.
Okay, let me see if I can. The device is not coming up, or would you want to just do audio with me?
We cannot have audio.
So what do you think is the solution? Because I think this phone, the mistake I'm making is that the person that normally coordinates for me, the laptop, I didn't set that one off.
Oh.
What do you think we can do? Let's use my photographer and audio now from Zoom.
So that is not allowed according to what we understand. We will need to see your face while you talk. According to in-house policy, sir.
The challenge is that I went on a different TV program.
Okay, so we probably might just, yes, we understand, probably might just reschedule this, sir, we might just reschedule this interview for tomorrow so that you can get a device that has quality.
I think it's better.
Okay, so all right, tomorrow morning, sir, tomorrow morning, by 9 in the morning.
Okay, 9 in the morning, okay.
Yes.
I'll work towards that.
All right, thank you, sir.
I'm grateful.
Yes, sir. Many thanks for staying with us. Let's talk politics now. In the latest twist to the saga surrounding Saturday's All Progressives Congress gubernatorial primaries in Edo State, another candidate, Anamero Sunday Dekeri, has been declared the winner by local government returning officers. This revelation marks the third time a candidate has been proclaimed victorious in what critics denounce as a severely flawed electoral process, casting a shadow over the party's commitment to internal democracy. Initially, the chairman of the Electoral Committee, Governor Hopuzodinma of Imo State, announced Honorable Dennis Idahosa as a member of the House of Representatives as the winner with a significant 40,483 votes, seemingly aligned with the Senator Adams Oshiomhole faction. However, Dr. Stanley Uduaja, the returning officer for the primary, later declared Senator Monday Okpebolo as the rightful APC candidate, emerging from a parallel primary election in Benin. In the midst of this turmoil, Abdullahi Ganduje, the APC national chairman, has extended congratulations to Idahosa, hailing him for his victory. In Nigeria's northeastern state of Borno, the government is appealing to the international community for support for its basket fund, which aims to assist in the resettlement of displaced persons and the repatriation of refugees. The Central's Umar Kirawa reports that the fund is set to provide much-needed resources to help rebuild communities ravaged by conflict and assist individuals in starting a new life in their ancestral communities. Thousands of refugees residing in the Republic of Cameroon have shown willingness to return home.
So we are extremely grateful. We have seen what has happened here, and I believe more communities will be resettled. I'm calling upon other countries in the world to donate to our basket fund, two of our basket funds, especially one, the Regional Stabilization Facility Fund, which is being managed by UNDP still, as well as the one UNOFA, which is managed by UNDP, but still implemented by the government of Borno State as well as UNOCHA.
As we know it, there are indications that the organized labor is prepared to lower its demand for 1 million naira minimum wage for workers in the country in line with realities on ground. The shift in position will likely be communicated to the federal government during the second meeting of the Tripartite Committee on the Minimum Wage on Monday and Tuesday. It was gathered that the meeting would enhance deliberations between all parties involved in negotiations to allow for the announcement of a new minimum wage on or before April 1, following the expiration of the current 30,000 naira minimum wage as provided by the law. President Bola Tinubu, through his deputy Kashim Shettima, had on January 30 inaugurated a 37-member panel on the new minimum wage at the Council Chamber of the State House in Abuja. Earlier, we were joined on the news to discuss this. That was Oludare Akinlaja, who is a policy advisor. We apologize, we will not be able to bring you that excerpt, but then probably in our subsequent bulletins. Let's go on a short break now. When we return, more stories will follow. Do stay with us. And now to update on the African Union Summit in Ethiopia. Now, the African Union's health watchdog said on Sunday that the continent's leaders will send a strong message for the renewal of the main U.S. program aimed at reducing the spread of HIV and AIDS. The president's emergency plan for AIDS relief, or PEPFAR, is a major funder of HIV testing, counseling, and life-saving treatment worldwide. The program, until recently, has enjoyed near universal support in the U.S. Congress. The Congress has formally failed to extend the program for a further 5 years because of the contentious U.S. abortion debate. The United Nations says the HIV prevention response is 90% short of the amount needed by the year 2025. Now, the Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan and other African heads of state has unveiled a statue of Tanzania's founding father and former president Julius Nyerere on the sidelines of the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa. Nyerere is credited as being at the forefront of the founding of the Organization of African Unity, a predecessor to today's AU, that is the African Union, founded in 2002. He was also one of the founding fathers of the Southern African Development Community, SADC. Nyerere's sculpture is the third statue erected on the premises of the AU headquarters next to the late Emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie, and the late Ghanaian President, Kwame Nkrumah. Away from AU Summit update, we tell you that some eminent Nigerians were over the weekend recognized by the Sun newspapers for various achievements through the year 2023. At the event, Innocent Chukwuma, the chief executive of Nigeria's auto manufacturing company, Innocent, Tony Lumelu of Hair Holding, and Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, as joint men of the year. News Central's Uzona Nonye tells us more.
For some of the dignitaries, walking into the hall was anticipatory, while others came with fanfare. Sustaining a tradition that began 21 years ago when Mike Adenuga received the maiden award of the Sun Man of the Year for the inroad into and expansion of Nigeria's telecom space through his Globacom, has been a task the newspaper takes seriously as a means of rewarding hard work and inspiring greater stride towards excellence.
The year 2023 for Nigeria and as a nation and Nigerians as a people was remarkable and challenging. In the midst of all this, there were Nigerians who weathered the storm and stand tall today to be counted. We are here to celebrate and honor them. We are here to tell a story to the fact that with the excellent use of our human and capital resources, something good will come out of Nigeria.
For the chairman and publisher of the Sun newspaper, opportunities to the younger generation which may come through representations should not be taken for granted.
The youth is now, and although we are coined as the future, we can also take advantage of the present. However, in having more young people in positions of power, that doesn't make it enough. I think that the bridge between generations is strengthened through mentorship and guidance.
Initial formalities now done, it was time to begin the business of the day. One category after the other, the awardees were called up to the podium, some physically present, others represented.
From my humble beginning, as a street hawker in my community, Agoiwe, I'm standing before you today, receiving the Backer of the Year award. Is inexplainable from all indications.
Some of the awardees shared what this meant to them.
I think it's a call for duty because no matter what happens in life, there are positives in every situation. Things that are bad now, but if we stay down, we remain down, we gotta be inspired, dust ourselves up, rise up and to challenge.
There's a global downturn at the moment, but all the same, I'm sure you heard when the president gave an assurance and said that we need to go through this now to be able to come out better on the other side of all the reforms that are taking place. So all I want to say is, please, we need some patience. We need people to get on board all what is going on.
Over the years, there has been a growing number of awards where individuals are singled out for recognition from thousands of competitors in every field. Now more than ever is the time to see the value of such excellence celebrated manifest in all parts of the nation's existence in addressing those burning issues threatening the future of the country. In Lagos for News Central, Uzona Ononye.
But I'll tell you that the prevalence of out-of-school children in Nigeria has become increasingly worrisome, especially as the number continues to rise despite interventions. Experts, however, charge the government at all levels, including states, with huge numbers of out-of-school children to put all hands on deck in providing necessary solutions and changing the narrative. News Central's Omolola Ololade tells us more.
Globally, children are entitled to free and quality education. Yet, the number of out-of-school children in the world is alarming and on the rise. The rise is particularly evident in sub-Saharan Africa, with Nigeria at the epicenter. The 20 million out-of-school children in Nigeria, according to the Universal Basic Education Commission, include the girl child in northern Nigeria, boy child dropout in south and southeast regions, internally displaced and Almajiri children who are predominantly found in northern Nigeria. Despite interventions by the government at all levels and other relevant stakeholders to address the menace of out-of-school children, the number has continued to increase.
Our population is going to double by 2050. And so we're going to have over 400 million Nigerians. And to your point, if we continue at this pace, we're also going to double the number of out-of-school children. In fact, not only the out-of-school children, but even those who are in school.
While the urgency of addressing the challenge of out-of-school children requires much more than the 68 billion naira lifeline under UBEC, funding remains a crucial part of reversing the ugly trend.
This is also telling you that whether it's 10 or 20 million, it's a huge issue that needs a lot of funding. But it's beyond funding. What are the strategies that we can deploy? Then one thing is clear, we cannot build enough schools fast enough because every year more children, come into the equation. Children are born every day, every minute. So every year, children become of school-going age and there are no schools. So one thing is clear that we don't have enough schools in the country.
It's called out-of-school children, right? Not out-of-school youths or adults. So I feel most of the funding should come for basic education, which is primary school level and the junior secondary school level.
Beyond funding, deploying technology to address the problem of out-of-school children will make a huge difference, according to experts.
We have an issue of a lack out of school children. Why haven't we deployed technology in the way that we did during that time to reach all these children to learn? Why haven't we deployed technology to gather the data to really identify, where are they? Where are the children who are not in school and how can we reach them?
The consensus is that education is the cornerstone of economic growth and national development of any nation. Hence the need for government to use its transformative power in shaping the future of the country. In Lagos, for News Central, Omolola Ololade.
Despite Nigeria being among the top 5 countries in sub-Saharan Africa with the cheapest cost of internet data, many Nigerians have expressed worry over what they refer to as abnormal depletion of their data, saying that they are unsure if they get value for money spent on internet data. Our correspondent, Idon Joseph, reports.
Internet connectivity has become an integral part of the life of many Nigerians. This is because it provides access to the world and makes information readily available. According to a report by a United Kingdom-based online daily, Nigeria ranks 31 out of 237 countries globally and second in Africa with the lowest cost of data. This, however, places Nigeria among countries where mobile data is relatively cheap, despite complaints of data depletion.
Before you can get to, you can get a data of 1.5, maybe at the rate of 9 or 7 point something gig, but right now it's 2,000. And even in 2,000, you discover that within 3 days, you have exhausted your data.
You buy a 1 month data, before you know it, within 1 week, it has exhausted, and you'll be wondering what were you really using it for.
If you buy data for 1,000 naira, you not even watch a video, just normal chatting and send message, all those things. Before you know, your data has finished.
I'm just seeing it as if the cafe now is better than even using your phone. Because cafe, before, when you go, you pay for 1 hour. That 1 hour, if you like, you want to fly inside the system, is your own business.
Some citizens News Central spoke to accused telecom providers and the banks of extortion and unsolicited charges.
I have a money that's still pending in the bank. Now the bank will say that the MTNs have not do anything about it. And when you call the MTN says go to the bank. And that's why I said that the whole system is not working.
I just saw some messages to my phone that I've subscribed for this so thing. And maybe I was thinking, I said, when did I subscribe this thing? And the worst is that before you know, I see deduction.
Reacting to this, the Executive Vice Chairman of Nigerian Communications Commission attribute these complaints to technology of latest devices used and applications adopted by these devices many subscribers are not aware of.
When people complain about this, but when they are engaged by the MNO and they go through in detail, what were you doing? What phone are you using? They now realize that, oh, actually, I was enjoying this very, very beautiful high-definition video with Adobe Dolby atmosphere, surround sound. Of course, it comes at a price. You require data to drive some of these fantastic experiences.
While the complaint of rapid data depletion seems to be a major worry for many users, Nigeria's Communications Commission is calling for more data user sensitization for the public. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
In a bid to stem the tide of illegal forex trading and the abuse of the Nigerian naira, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has taken decisive action, establishing a dedicated task force. This move comes amidst growing concerns over the persistent depreciation of the naira against the US dollar, with recent data from the Financial Market Infrastructure Group (FMDQ) revealing a decline to 1,537 naira 96 kobo per US dollar on Friday from 1,498 naira 25 kobo on Thursday. The FCC's crackdown on illegal forex activities is not unprecedented, with past arrests and operations targeting individuals involved in illicit trading and the abuse of the national currency. A group of young individuals in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, have organized a football match with the aim of bringing together the youths from diverse backgrounds to promote harmony in the region. This grassroots initiative also aims to create a platform where young individuals can come together, celebrate their shared passion for football, and demonstrate their commitment to peace. News Central's Umar Kirawa completes the report.
A gathering like this here in Borno State would have been unthinkable during the dark days of insurgency. Then it was unusual for young people to come together without the fear of what may happen next. The narrative keeps changing as peace finally gets root.
Wannan makashin yana ɗaya daga cikin abubuwan cewa an samu zaman lafiya. Shi ne dalilin da ya sa aka a shoran local government da zaman lafiya a Borno State.
Akwai haɗin kai a ciki, kuma an ka diba dukkan manya-manya mutane sun zo wannan wasanni, kuma yana nuna kamar an samu zaman lafiya a cikin Maiduguri wannan. Kuma an ƙara haɗa kanmu.
Muna yi wa Allah godiya da aka yi wasa lafiya aka gama shi lafiya. Kowa Allah mai da shi gidansa lafiya.
This football match not only provides a platform for young athletes to showcase their talents, but also serves as a symbol of hope and resilience in the face of adversity.
Wannan ya zama kalubale ga sauran mutane da su gane cewa shiga cikin matasa yana ɗaya daga cikin abubuwan da zai kawo zaman lafiya domin faɗakar da matasa.
Fatan Allah ya sake haɗa kanmu gabaki ɗaya. Allah ya kawo mana zaman lafiya wannan ƙasa ta mu. Wannan wasa ba sai ya ce duka kowa ya samu abin da yake so. Allah ya alhamdulillah.
The Peace Cup football match has received encouraging support from local authorities, community leaders and businesses who recognize the potential impact of this initiative on Maiduguri's social fabric.
Mun gode Allah sosai ya fi kira mu zuwa wasan bol da muka zo matasan sun abun da ya kamata kuma mun ji daɗin shi sosai.
By prioritizing peace and understanding, these young individuals hope to inspire others to embrace dialogue, empathy and friendship. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Let's take you to Delta State, where the state government has launched a tertiary institution social health insurance program for students of Delta State origin across Nigeria. News Central correspondent Austin Azu tells us more in this report.
One challenge confronting Nigerian students in the various campuses of higher institutions remain access to quality and affordable health care. These challenges are always associated with paucity of funds. Students of Denis Osadebe University, Asaba, have converged on this hall to be enrolled into the Delta Health Insurance Scheme to enable them access healthcare within the campus and beyond.
In this one, you can walk into any hospital, present it, and you receive care to save life. Congratulations.
Executive Chairman and Director General of the Delta State Contributory Health Commission stated that the programs include quality health plan, formal and informal health plan, while recommending similar schemes for the federal government to be introduced across the federal institutions in Nigeria, explained that the benefits to students are enormous.
For any of us, you students, you fall ill. Our commission, the Contributory Health Commission, we are there for you. Let your DBC, as you rightly said, you start like that, you pay your million, we will take care of you.
And so, with 7,000 naira, they can receive care in the primary health care center in the school, any other hospital they are referred to, from simple treatment like malaria to complicated malaria to operations that can be handled. In addition, they are on holidays, they can also receive treatment in hospitals registered by the scheme. And if they are outside Delta, so we are making an arrangement for them to be able to receive treatment in Lagos, in Kano.
Vice Chancellor of the university, represented by his deputy, said the university gives special attention to students' health, just as students expressed gratitude to the state government for bringing the scheme to them.
Amazing, and it actually reduces stress for us not to pay a huge amount of money in terms of people who are actually don't really have the strength to afford the money.
I feel it will help us to ensure that we are okay and we won't have the pressure of thinking of how to get money to help ourselves, to take care of our health. I feel it's okay.
The aim of the health insurance scheme in Delta State is to ensure that all residents of the state have financial protection, physical access to quality and affordable healthcare services, protect families from the financial hardship of huge medical bills, and limit the rise in the cost of healthcare services. In Asaba for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
Coming up on the news. Codeco militia kills 15 in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We will bring you more on this when we return. We now head back to West Africa, where supporters of opposition presidential election candidates Bassirou Diomaye Faye on Sunday demanded his immediate release in the name of equal treatment under the Constitution. The coalition noted that the situation also required the urgent release of jailed opposition Pastef party leader Ousmane Sonko. The Constitutional Court rejected Sonko's candidacy and accepted that of Faye, the party's number 2, along with about 20 others. But Sonko has been in prison since July 2023 for calling an uprising associated with criminals linked to terrorism and harming state security. Faye has been under preventive detention since April last year, but has yet to face trial. Burkina Faso's transitional president, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, pays tribute to his country's youth and hammered home the need to fight for the sovereignty of Africans. He made this known at a meeting with several thousands of supporters in Ouagadougou. In a widely applauded speech, the head of state paid tribute to Burkina Faso's youth for their citizenship and patriotic vigilance and the consolidation of the gains of the transition. Traoré has been the interim leader of Burkina Faso since the September 30, 2022 coup d'etat, which ousted interim president Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba.
La CEDEAO n'a jamais fait un communiqué pour féliciter une victoire de nos armées. À peine, elle condamne du bout des lèvres et très rarement lorsqu'il y a des massacres.
L'objectif principalement, c'est pour encourager les veilleurs patriotiques et citoyens. Ceux qui sont regroupés devant les carrefours, autour des ronds-points, jour et nuit,
pour faire en sorte que l'ennemi ne s'infiltre ou nous surprenne avec une déstabilisation. Nous nous sommes réunis avec le chef de l'État pour lui dire que nous sommes debout jour et nuit de façon permanente et lui à son retour de nous dire qu'en réalité nous devons continuer parce qu'il est du cœur avec nous.
Militia fighters have killed 15 people in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo's troubled Ituri province, local sources said on Sunday, in the second of such attack in less than a week. Reports allege that Codeco militia, which claims to defend the interests of the Lendu group, again targeted victims from the rival Hema tribe. Codeco fighters ambushed users of a road near the village of Tali, where they stopped 15 people, including one woman, on Saturday afternoon, said Julius, the leader of Jugu Territories Civil Society. The militiamen are said to have tied them up and undressed them before killing them. Some victims had their throats cut, others were shot dead. Two other stories outside of the African continent will tell you that Spanish emergency services say a fire that broke out in a Madrid nursing home early on Sunday has killed 2 women and injured 18 others. The blaze broke out at around 7 a.m. in a room on the first floor of the residence, which is home to 39 people. One of the injured, a woman, was in critical condition due to burns, while the rest were taken to hospital with moderate or light injuries, mostly due to smoke inhalation. Now, EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell says the situation in the Israel-occupied West Bank posed a major obstacle to finding a long-term solution for peace between Israel and the Palestinians. Around 490,000 Israelis live in the West Bank, which Israel has occupied since 1967, in dozens of settlements that are deemed illegal under international law. The settlers live alongside around 3 million Palestinians in the territory. Palestinians view the Israeli settlements as a war crime and a major obstacle to peace, but many national religious hardliners see living there as fulfilling a divine promise.
And I am surprised because everybody talks about ending the war in Gaza. Yes, we have to end the war in Gaza, but nobody has talked a lot about the West Bank. And the West Bank is the real obstacle for the two-state solution. The West Bank is boiling. The level of violence against the Palestinians has been increasing since the 7th of October. It was already very high before that. And if now UNRWA has to stop supporting the Palestinian people in the West Bank, we could be on the eve of a greater explosion.
Talking business now, the African Development Bank Group has announced in its latest macroeconomic performance and outlook report that Africa will host 11 of the world's 20 fastest growing economies in the year 2024. The continent's real gross domestic product growth is forecasted to average 3.8% in 2024 and 4.2% in 2025, surpassing the projected global averages of 2.9% and 3.2%. The 11 fastest growing economies and their projected growth rate for 2024 are Niger, 11.2%, Senegal, 8.2%, Libya, 7.9%, Rwanda, 7.2%, Cote d'Ivoire, 6.8%, Ethiopia, 6.7%, Benin Republic, 6.4%, Djibouti, 6.2%, Tanzania, 6.1%, Togo and Uganda, 6% apiece. Elsewhere, the NGX AllShare Index and market capitalization are appreciated by 1.97% and 2.00% to close last week at 104,421.23 and 57.152 trillion naira. It ended with a total turnover of 3.893 billion shares worth 95.147 billion naira in 69,117 deals traded last week by investors on the floor of the exchange, in contrast to a total of 2.981 billion shares valued at 57.873 billion naira that exchanged hands last week in 67,962 deals. The financial services industry, measured by volume, led the activity chart with 2.640 billion shares valued at 47.654 billion naira traded in 31,929 deals, thus contributing 67.81% and 50.08% to the total equity turnover volume and value. The oil and gas industry followed in the third place, and also was the conglomerate industry, taking the last position. Staying with equities markets, Delta Property Fund, a real estate firm, has been fined 7.5 million rand and censured by the Johannesburg Securities Exchange for misstating its financials between 2018 and 2020. However, the JSE suspended 5 million rand of the fine linked to certain conditions being met. The JSE and Delta have issued statements on the fine and censure, which comes as another financial hit to the embattled SA Real Estate Investment Trust, also called REIT. The JSE suspended Delta's listing back in December 2020, effectively halting trade in its shares. However, the suspension was lifted in July 2021 after the group's new management restated the REIT's results and gave an update on forensic investigations into former executives. Finally, the Kenyan government plans to collect an additional 323.5 billion Kenyan shillings in taxes in budget spending plan that will see the William Ruto-led administration spend a total of 4.55 trillion Kenyan shillings, mostly on salaries and debt repayment. This is stated in the 2024 budget policy statement, and it adds that the government targets to collect 2.95 trillion Kenyan shillings in taxes in the fiscal year 2024 to 2025 from July to June, relying on the proposed far-reaching tax measures that target the hard-to-tax sectors such as the informal, digital, and agricultural activities sector. During the current fiscal year ending June this year, the Kenya Revenue Authority has been tasked with collecting 2.62 trillion Kenyan shillings from both direct and indirect taxes. Next is today's sports news.
And in sports, the Nigerian teams have been ruled out of contention for a place in the knockout stage of the IWTF World Team Table Tennis Championships taking place in South Korea. It was women's team that first failed to make it to the second round after losing to Mexico and Slovakia in their matches at the tournament. The trio of Edem Ofyong, Ajoke Ojomu, and Esther Oribamishe could not withstand their Mexican and Slovakian opponents as they fell 3-0 in the two encounters. The absence of captain Quadri Aruna may have taken a toll on the men's team after they were walked over by Japan, while they suffered a 3-0 and 3-1 defeat to Chinese Taipei and Madagascar. This development may have put an end to the ambition of Nigeria, as they are yet to record a win in all their matches, while the men's last group match is against Czech Republic on Monday at the Busan Exhibition Convention Center. At a time when all the men's team from Africa are yet to record a win at the ongoing IWTF World Championships, the Egyptian women's team recorded the continent's first win after a convincing 3-1 win over Czech Republic. It was Dena Meshrev who led the onslaught for Egypt after taking down Dena Blaskova. Hannah Goder fought from behind against Hannah Matelova, but her efforts could not prevent her from going down to the Czech. Miriam Aludabi restored Egypt's lead with a win over Katarina Tomanovska, while Meshrev returned to finish up what she started with a comprehensive win over Matelova to hand Egypt and Africa the first win of the competition. Swedish top-flight football side Elfsborg have announced a contract extension for Inform Michael Baidu, with the new deal running through the 2027 season. The 24-year-old Ghanaian has had an impressive 2 seasons for the Yellow and Blacks since arriving in January 2022. Baidu has scored 14 goals, 9 assists in 54 competitive matches. The young player has been in Europe since 2017 when he left Vision Football Club to Danish side Midtjylland. In swimming, Femke Bol broke her own indoor 400-meter world record on Sunday
as she recorded a time of 49.24 seconds in the Dutch Championships. Bo, the double world outdoors champion at 400 meters hurdle, improved her own record set last year by 0.02 of a second. She was followed by Lick Claver, who set a personal best of 50.10 seconds, a time that moves her to 9th on the world indoor all-time list. We will now head to the World Athletics Indoor Championships, Glasgow 24, on the hunt for her first world indoor title. And that's a wrap on Sport Update. I am Udoka Njoko.
That's all at this hour, but before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. Organized labor in Nigeria set to shift ground on proposed 1 million naira minimum wage. Bandits claim 12 lives, injure 9 in fresh attacks in Kaduna. Bodeko militia kills 15 in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Do send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number and email on your screen, and you can follow us on social media via @NewsCentral TV. You can also watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekon Onobanjo.